Okie dokie. Artichoke. I have to pull it up. Hello, Kirby family. Welcome back to our weekly vlogs. We welcome you with open arms.
Yeah. Oh.
Welcome. Okay, so we had someone reach out and ask us to do a Q&A because they knew Braden was in the army. For those who don't know, he's in the army, and I don't know if they're interested in joining the army or what, but they asked for us to do a Q&A. So here we are, right before bed.
Yeah.
So thanks for everyone who put in a question. I have them pulled up and we're gonna read them off.
Okay.
Are you ready to be interrogated?
I guess.
All right, first question. How much do you get paid? I would like to know this too.
When we go to, so since I'm in the National Guard, anyone could look this up.
Pause. Don't do like super long answers. Do like simple answers.
Okay, well, so since I'm in the National Guard, I don't get paid at the same rate as like an active duty soldier would in the big army. So every weekend that I go to drill I get paid, but I usually make a couple hundred.
Those drills are only like 2-3 days.
2 or 3 days, sometimes 4, and every year we do like
2-week
one big one where we're gone for a couple weeks. And that one I usually make a couple thousand, but pretty much every day that I'm at drill, I make one day of drill for me equals 2 days of regular pay for a normal soldier.
I get paid a couple hundred.
So I get paid a couple hundred every time I go to drill, couple thousand every time I do like big training.
So long story short, would you say like about 200 a month from the army?
A little more than that.
A little more than 200 a month.
Yeah.
Do you ever regret joining the army?
No. Like, there are times where it sucks.
Well, yeah, duh.
There are always times where it sucks, where you're just like, oh man, why'd I do this? But those moments don't last very long.
Whereas if I were to do it, I would regret it the second
I know that there are people who regret it, like from day one. But honestly, those are the people that get out the fastest. And it's good for them to at least get the experience, I think, so.
Yeah. Oh, this one's for me.
Yeah.
It says for Haley. Is it hard being an army wife? Well, like he said, he's not active duty, so it really isn't. I think the only hard part was before we even got married and he went to basic for
6 months.
6 months.
Because it was AIT.
Well, yeah, so it was like basic for 3 months, AIT right after for 3 months in a completely different state. Like I couldn't see him. We couldn't call, we could hardly write, like, so that was the hardest part. But
for the first 3.
Because he only leaves like 3 days a month.
If that.
If that, and the only,
Currently.
I think the only hard part, because he hasn't gone anywhere dangerous, the hardest part was when there were riots going on in good old 2020. And he was assigned to go to Washington, D.C. for riot control. And that freaked me out, because how long was that, like a week?
A little over a week, yeah.
Yeah, and so hearing stories of everything going on, like I was just, and it was very sudden. Like he got the call, had to pack and go, so I didn't have time to like.
Yeah, they called me. I was like, "Hey, can you be here in the next couple hours?" I was like, "Oh
yeah.
crap, yeah."
So he had to like pack up and go to Pocatello.
I had to shave too.
Yeah, poor thing. But so that wasn't fun, and especially learning that they had to take a different bus route every single day because people would purposefully try to learn their bus route to try to stop the bus. Like that's just, but luckily the only dangerous thing that happened was he got Darnold traffic cone through.
Someone threw some traffic cone at us. Pretty sure he was cracked up too.
Probably, but I think that was the hardest part, but I don't have it nearly as hard as most every other wife out there for was basic training as bad as people say?
No. Like the problem is, so the thing is, right, like it's physically and mentally demanding.
Well, yeah.
But it is probably the easiest hard thing that you'll ever have to do in your life.
I feel like it depends on the person. I feel like some people, it's a lot harder.
I was prepared for it.
His dad's in the army, so he probably.
Well, and so like I went to basic with a passing PT score, so like I was already set up there. I already had a good bit of discipline. Like, basic training is designed to break you down so that they can build you back up as a soldier.
Which I've heard that they call you like rude names to try to make you think you're less of a person. Is that actually a thing?
No. I mean, they'll swear at you a lot. Like, I mean, probably the most
That's
common,
their only language.
the most
there.
common word I heard through all 6 months was the F word.
That's fun.
Yeah. So,
If not the Army, what other form of military would you join?
if not the Army,
Mm-hmm.
honestly, if I had the option of ROTC for the Air Force at the school that I'm going to, I would probably do the Air Force ROTC. Not for any other reason except that, I don't know, I just feel like my mindset and skill set are me joining the Army. I feel like I was better suited for the Air Force because, don't hate me,
You're gonna get hate for saying that now.
the Army's tougher. Like, it just is. Like, when we're sleeping in tents, the Air Force gets like nice barracks and hotels, and like it just happens like that just because they have, I think, a little bit different money than we have, and we're kind of.
You guys still have lots of money though.
Well, yeah, the defense budget is crazy.
The big question: why did you join the Army?
Money.
It's true. That's
Yes,
true. Because we were getting married.
I love my country, and I'm grateful that I have the opportunity to serve in the capacity that I am able to.
Hey guys.
But really, like, my parents aren't millionaires. I have this kind of personal, I don't want to get into debt, like, as much. Like, when you look at the national student debt, it's crazy, like, how much money people owe to schools. And I didn't want to add too much to that.
It's almost not
So,
worth it.
through the Army and military in general, like, you can almost get your whole education paid for. In some instances, you can't.
Which is why you do it in Montana.
Yeah, so, like, in Montana, after you've used up your GI Bill and stuff, then you get, like, free tuition.
When he asked for my dad permission to ask me to marry him, that was a weird sentence. One of your reasons was like, I'm planning to join the Army. I'm gonna be able
I think I said Air Force at the time.
I'm gonna be able to support us, kind of thing. So
Yeah.
the main idea is like we were gonna be
Supported at
young
some
married
point.
college students and most likely broke. So this was like a for sure set thing, which is good he had it because for the first almost year of marriage, neither of us could find a job.
Yeah, it's tough to find a
Like,
job
we
in
were
a small college town.
Jobless for a while, and we were living off of the Army. This is the last question. What is your biggest piece of advice for people thinking of joining?
Biggest piece of advice for people who might be thinking about joining? Well, I guess I have two pieces of advice. First advice, do it. If you're thinking about it, just do it. Because if you sit
You're
there
gonna psych yourself
and you
out.
think about it, like it's like climbing up on the high board when you're doing a dive, right? You're climbing up onto the high diving board. If you don't just jump, you're not gonna do it. Because that was me for a long time. Because I kept going back and forth, and eventually I just said, I just got to do it. And so I went to my recruiter. I was like, hey, let's get this thing going because I want to do this. And I did it. Now, if you make that decision to do it, make sure you're fit. Because that is like the number one reason people can't join is because they just can't pass any of the physical tests. So you just have to make sure, like, and there's some changes going on with the tests, but basically if you can do 2 minutes of sustained push-ups, 2 minutes of sustained sit-ups, and a 2-mile run in less than 20 minutes, you have a pretty good baseline then to go off of. The standards for physical fitness training now are changing a little bit because like changing the test up to a different test and stuff, but overall you should just pretty much make sure you're physically fit enough to do it.
And something I didn't know about the Army until I married into it is that there's so many different jobs for the Army. Like he's planning on going like after, because right now he's wanting to do medical school. So after he graduates medical school, he can become a medic for the Army to help pay
Yeah,
off.
I can be a doctor in the
Yeah.
Army. Yeah.
And so it's like they give you so many job opportunities for people who can't find that.
Even if you don't have a degree.
There's
Like a lot of
it's so helpful, especially for young married couples. Like they're getting paid by the Army to try to get people to join the Army.
free advertisement. Sign me up to be a recruiter.
Well, we're ready for bed.
I am ready for bed.
So we are gonna go to bed. But if you haven't yet, make sure you like this video.
Subscribe to keep up with all the new videos and all the content we're putting out.
And follow us on Instagram because I'm training him to post more on Instagram. But I post and you can keep up with us on stories for our day-to-day lives. And make sure if you want to send us a picture of us. Like the one we have at the very beginning of our video.
We love fan art.
You act like we're famous or something.
We love fan art.
No, if you send us a picture, we will put at the beginning of our video, even if it's freaking stick figures. We love seeing the pictures that are sent to us. So you've probably seen a couple in previous videos. We love you, Kirby family. We appreciate all of your support and just simply watching our videos. It's enough.
Absolutely.
But anyway, we love you. We're going to bed.
So I can wake up bright and early.
3 a.m.
3 a.m.
But anyway, good night. I'm too lazy to turn it off.